Hi, and welcome back to the channel. We are back with another episode of Watchmen. This is episode 8, A God Walks into Abar. Ha, ha, ha. What a joke. Yeah, that it definitely refers to Dr. Manhattan and Angela Abar, who we learned in the last episode, they've known each other for a while. They've been together for a while, and they came up with this elaborate scheme of sorts where they put some sort of contraption into the skull or into the head of Dr. Manhattan, John, and he became Cal, who's been like, Angela's husband for a while, and some people figured it out a while back, I believe, and we were talking about it, but we got it confirmed in the previous episode, as I just got into. So what's interesting now is what the hell's going to happen now that Dr. Manhattan has entered the game, because all bets are off now, because that guy can do just about anything. But shall we jump straight into it, get our minds blown, and try to talk about it afterwards? And as always, please like, comment, subscribe, and check out our Patreon for full-length reactions. Let's go. Yeah. And God walks into a bar. Yeah.
If I can guess why you're here drinking all alone, will you let me join you?
Sure. Why am I drinking all alone?
You're commemorating the anniversary of your parents' death.
Spot on.
Then who told you about my parents?
You did.
I did not.
You will. In about 20 minutes.
I'm guessing you popped down here to Saigon from Mars 20 years after you abandoned humanity.
That's not me on Mars.
Oh? Then where have you been for the past 20 years?
On Europa. It's a moon of Jupiter.
Oh.
You were right, Europa.
And what were you doing there?
It's 1985. A primordial ocean transmutes into a liquid creation engine.
Holy shit.
I step out onto the amniotic lake. A hatchery stocked with miracles, fin, winged, and hoofed.
You walk on water?
Occasionally, yes.
Cool. You take Sunday off when you're done?
No, the entire process is complete in approximately 90 seconds.
Typical.
I knitted their bodies from the microbes of the
Okay,
water.
so he...
And then I bring them a place in which to live. A manor house. There, in the darkness of a closet, I have no idea what I'm seeing or hearing.
Shit. Oh.
What you witnessed was a good thing. It was a beautiful thing.
John, this is for you.
Bible?
Yeah.
Do you own a Bible?
No, Papa does not believe in this.
Oh, that's all right. These are still very beautiful stories. You could do us a favor in return for the Bible. Make it your purpose to create something beautiful. Will you do that for us, John?
Right.
I made Adam and Eve, not in my own image, but in theirs.
You have a fantastic imagination.
6 months from now, a friend is telling me I have a profound lack of imagination.
You have friends?
Perhaps he's more of a colleague. He tried to kill me once.
Yeah.
He makes a bomb. That bomb kills my parents 22 years ago tonight. You knew that.
Mm-hmm.
You said it before you sat down.
Yes, but you just told me now. Haven't you ever done anything you knew you were going to regret?
Maybe.
Then will you have dinner with me?
Well,
Nice.
you know everything is going to happen.
Actually, you've come up with a rather elegant solution to the problem of my appearance.
His name is Calvin Jelani. He just dropped dead. I be comfortable with him. Forgot your thing?
I'm going to forget so much more.
How long are we together?
10 years,
How does it end?
tragically.
You want to be a little more specific?
I'd rather not.
No.
10 years. I have never even heard this song before.
It's called Tunnel of Love, and now it's your favorite.
We are not in an argument.
We're close. And now you say,
Don't tell me what I'm gonna
fuck."
fucking say.
That must be a little bit infuriating as well.
Yeah.
Was your childhood not filled with the constant fear that you would never have a family?
Don't you dare.
Because yours was taken away from you?
Stop.
We're in the fight now.
Yeah, we fucking are.
What was the name of that place? Karnak? Was that what he named it?
I can't remember.
Why do they need to keep making their God-forsaken bombs? Only Dr. Manhattan would have the balls to show up here wearing nothing but his birthday suit.
Should I put something on? Still fabricating alien incursions.
And maintaining world peace. It's not the 80s anymore, John. This kind of appropriation is considered quite problematic. 2009.
How do you know I was on Europa?
A little elephant told me. What I don't know
True.
is why a blue man is masquerading as a human. Though I might venture an educated guess. What's her name?
Angela.
So, you don't just want to look like a mortal. You want to be one.
Will you help me?
Why can't you do it yourself?
You tell me, Adrian.
You have a profound lack of imagination. Without the awareness of your abilities, you wouldn't know to use them. Except perhaps as a reflex in life-threatening situations.
That's what happened
You could walk,
in White Knight.
talk, and live among the normals undetected.
And how long would it take for you to make this device?
I made it 30 years ago. Earlier, John, I did.
Of course he did.
Do you know what is inside this?
Actually, I don't.
Because I irradiated it with tachyon particles, one small part of the universe even you can't see.
Angela has a grandfather that she's not yet aware of. He and I have matters to discuss.
Well, let's discuss them now. I once asked you, John, whether it was all worth it in the end. You avoided answering by saying nothing ever ends.
I sought to create a kind of life that was superior to the life here on Earth. Beings who are designed to care for others instead of themselves. And I did it, Adrian. Would you like me to send you there, Adrian?
Yes, John. I would like that.
Godspeed.
Now that's more like the Adrian I imagined.
A little bit more, yeah.
Do we have any kids?
Yes.
Are they like half gods?
I would never pass my abilities on to someone without their consent.
So that's the thing you can do.
There's a period of time I cannot see.
Just sounds a lot like a tunnel. A tunnel of love.
The tunnel of love. I leave it entirely in your hands.
You want to get down on one knee?
I do.
She's also kind of small, so.
Yeah. Okay, be back.
You still have his face. John, the kids are upstairs.
Would Would you excuse me for a moment, please?
Need help now.
There's a blue man on our swimming pool.
Oh. Oh, okay. Hi, kids. Oh.
Oh.
Motherfucker. Get the fuck up off the pool and tell me where they are right now.
You need to see me on the pool.
Why?
You may know me better as Dr. Manhattan. May we talk for a moment? Yeah.
Dr. Manhattan and Hooded Justice. Fucking cool.
I know because she says over and over again that she doesn't want a family, yet it is clear through her actions that it is all that she wants.
You're talking with him right now?
Relatively, yes.
You talking to her right now?
Relatively, yes.
Can you ask him something?
She wants to know how you knew Judd Crawford was a member of Cyclops.
You didn't?
Who's Judd Crawford?
Yeah, but now he's gonna look into it.
But he does now.
Bootstrap paradox.
No shit.
Shit.
Did I start all this?
Yep.
Which came first, the chicken or the egg? The answer appears to be both at exactly the same time. I'm hungry.
Fucker!
They're in a truck parked across the street. On the back of the truck is a tachyonic cannon, which they will use to involuntarily teleport me and then destroy me. You asked me about the moment I fell in love with you. This is the moment.
All this time we've been together and you fall in love with me now?
No, I've always been in love with you.
You stay here while I sit here alone.
My eyes really hurt.
God, you do that all alone? But
We win. You were wrong.
I'm sorry. By definition, don't all relationships end in tragedy?
Guess you have a point.
And will you have dinner with me?
Fuck it. Why not?
oh, that was some fucking episode. Penultimate episode even, so one left, that's the finale.
It's a big one. It's
The fuck, they're gonna wrap everything up in one episode. Holy, how the... That episode's gonna be like 2 hours long or something. It has to be. By the way, I'm letting this one go on because I've been told there's an after credit scene in this one.
yeah.
So
Will you stay, Master?
Well,
Okay.
that's his punishment?
Heaven is not enough because heaven doesn't need me. Enjoy your fucking cake.
Is there something in the cake? The horseshoe. Okay. What's with the fucking horseshoe? Is it like some sort of device? Can it teleport him somewhere or? Damn. But I really like this episode. I know it was kind of sad, tragic, and yeah, it made you leak and ruined your makeup.
Don't care about that.
I know. But this was compared to all the other episodes. This was actually the one that was the easiest to follow, which is kind of weird since it was a Dr. Manhattan episode and it was jumping all over the place and it was following him and his way of seeing time. So this should, by all rights, be the most confusing episode, but it was actually the most straightforward.
But I also think because it's placed right here in the end of the whole thing, that it's kind of because it explained a lot.
Yes, it put
almost everything
so much into perspective, like the whole, like all the series now.
Yeah, not only did it put like what happened in this series in perspective, it also kind of pull some threads back to the comic book, with a lot of back and forth between Dr. Manhattan and Adrian and that whole thing. And
yes,
it was
that was a really good scene with those two.
Yeah, when he went back to Antarctica and spoke with Adrian.
Yeah, and I mentioned it while we were watching, and we were both kind of in agreement there that he was a bit more like the Adrian that we thought we were getting. And that does make more, like, this was the Adrian who was like, he was still on Earth, he was still living with what he had done, and he was still doing these squid rainfalls and all that, keeping the world's order, and keeping the peace, or trying to, yeah, exactly, but just not receiving any fucking gratitude from it. He didn't feel like he was appreciated by the citizens of Earth, or like the rest of humanity and its leadership, maybe. But he was still like, he wasn't crazy, like we've seen him through this entire series. I'm not crazy, but his behavior on this Europa, this paradise, heaven, whatever, has been more eccentric, I would say. But that jives pretty well with him being up there and being alone in a sense, but not really, and being worshipped at every turn, but he's not allowed to leave. There's still some questions there, because like, when did those rules come into effect? Like, you're not allowed to leave, and the thing with the game warden, the Adam of this world, essentially. But when did Dr. Manhattan make these rules? And was there some like hidden agenda there from Dr. Manhattan's side, where if I can get him there, I'm not gonna let him leave again? Or, yeah, that I'm not certain about. But we still got a lot of information, as you said, in this episode. And yeah, is there something in particular that you want to dive into?
Well, I was actually very happy about the whole backstory with John meeting these two very good people.
Yes.
That he actually modeled his Adam and Eve people, or
his creations. He modeled them.
And I really liked, of course, the whole backstory that they were just gentle, kind beings, and they were way better than actual human beings because they were gentle and kind. And he modeled his first creations after two people that was so genuinely kind and wonderful people. And I just thought that was so amazing and heartwarming even. And then going back to the end with the game warden being the first guy, being like Adam, and it all came into play that, of course, Dr. Manhattan is God, and he created Adam and Eve.
Yes,
and he didn't, and that's the thing, he didn't create them in his own image. He created them in the image of their own, in their own image.
Yes,
and I really like that. That sentiment.
Yes. Adam, or the Game Warden, he saw God, Dr. Manhattan, create this world, this paradise for them, and then he disappeared. You get why that would make you question things, maybe, or...
It does fill you with some sort of emptiness, I could imagine.
Loneliness, that's what they were talking about there.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is something that's always tough to talk about, and something that's, because there's different kinds of being lonely. You can be lonely with people around you, you can be lonely with no people around you, of course, and loneliness is not like a set idea, or like it's not, it comes in many forms.
Yes. And yeah, and I kind of like the whole also just the Manhattan story.
Yes.
How they came to meet, and how she knew everything, and
yes, and how much did he know beforehand and afterwards? And I was actually kind of nervous going into this one, because I was like, okay, we know from the last episode that now Dr. Manhattan is here, and apparently he's Cal, he's been hiding. Him and Angela fell in love at one point in Vietnam. What the fuck's going on? How are they going to explain all this? How are they going to make it believable and explain it in the way that we'll accept it, and accept it even if we have like read the comic books or not? It's just, yeah, I was real curious about that, and they handled it really well, and they explained things really well. There were even a couple of times where I was like, with this whole like his look, and like who was playing him, and during like Blueface, and then changing into, it's the way that they set it all up and explained it, and even commented on the fact that it's not an appropriate thing to do.
Blackfacing.
yeah, it was just, I thought they just handled it really well, and they even found the next, like, even at one point, Angela, when he came back in present day, and when she took the thing out of his head, she was like, even though he was blue, she was looking at him like, you still look like him. And so it was like, okay, then it makes sense that you're having the same actor play Dr. Manhattan, just painted blue, because we didn't see his face before he became Cal, or he took that second identity, sort of. We didn't see his face at any point, so we only saw him when he was like, his face, when it made sense that he would look like that, if you get my drift. So it was just a clever way of getting around that whole thing, where it's like, okay, he would of course not look like Cal before transforming into Cal. He would look like someone else, but we have this actor playing him, and we want him to play him. So we're just not going to show his face until it makes sense to show his face. And once again, I thought that was cleverly handled.
I just actually feel like he did a very good job at portraying his, especially in the vocal quality of his voice, and the way he was. There's something with intonation and the way Dr. Manhattan speaks. It's,
even though of course we don't hear it when we're reading, it's just the way the characters. yeah.
I think also I think the guy who played Dr. Manhattan in the movie actually also did a very good job, and I think maybe that's what they might have muddled it a little bit after. At least this very
monotone.
And this he has almost a robotic way of speaking,
and very calm as well,
exactly.
Which makes sense if you know what's going to happen
and if you're
what
completely
happened,
emotionless, because
but he does have emotions because
that's not what I said.
He can love and all. Yep, I know. Yeah, sorry, I know what you mean, but it's he's it makes a lot of sense for the character that he talks the way he talks, and
then we also found our blue man's kryptonite. It was these tachyons.
Yes, they used them before. Well, Adrian, he has used them before, and that's how he was able to trick him.
Yeah.
In the original story, so we kind of knew it was he was vulnerable to tachyons, and that was a blind spot to him. In a way, but yeah, it's holy shit, 7K. You must really have done your research, and where the fuck do they get their money? But then again, okay, they do have a lot of rich people behind them.
And the senator and stuff. Yeah, but another thing, he also told us that he was actually able to transfer his powers onto others. So I think you might have been right in the fact that they are trying to use, dissolve Dr. Manhattan and then put Dr. Manhattan's particles into, for example, the senator.
Yeah.
To create a
new blue god.
New blue god, yeah.
Seems like that's what they're trying to do or aiming at, that's a big fucking deal.
Yeah. So I think that's what they used the gun, the tachyon gun for, to dissolve him, so they could put him into some of the 7K people along with the senator.
Yeah, I can imagine like this. He mentioned something about they're gonna teleport me, like I'm gonna be unwillingly teleported somewhere where they're gonna destroy me. So I think like what we saw here, the gun didn't destroy him; it took him. And placed him somewhere else, maybe inside of this contraption that they were working on in the scene with Laurie when she was sitting in the chair. They were working on some big cube thing.
And they were, and they were trying to see when they used this weird kind of portal.
Yeah.
Like where would he end up?
Exactly. They were testing out the teleportation, so they
can trap him in the right place.
Yes. Wow.
So yeah, that's
this episode just did so much for me, at least, as it set so many things into like the right place, and I'm not as confused as I've been like the past like many episodes, and we even talked about it at one point that it was getting not infuriating, but it was just like, oh come on, okay, maybe you were a little bit infuriated.
I was actually, to be fairly honest, I was at this point I was just like, let's just watch it so we can end this, because I was past the point where I actually found it interesting, because it was too much. But now we kind of have needed a lot of no Siri because of the bootstrap paradox.
Thank you, Doc.
Yeah. Now, actually, maybe Angela might have started something that she didn't really want to start, or at least punish a guy. We don't know for sure if Judd was in this whole conspiracy yet with the 7K. It was.
He definitely knew way more than he was letting on at the time, and I think what Senator Keene, Joe Keene, he told Laurie, or he told someone about
Looking Glass?
Or Looking Glass maybe. But he told someone that him and Jod, they've been working together for a while and keeping the peace on both sides.
Oh yeah, that one. Yeah.
So he definitely knew more, but I do think that his intentions, I could be wrong about this as well, but from how I read the character Jod, he was a good guy, just he was trying to do good. Like, he had good intentions, and like he said to Will, like, even before he hung himself, that, like, I'm trying to help you people. Come on.
Yeah, but I think that's why Angela, she kind of reacted the way she did, because she just found out that she might have
Inadvertently killed
Judd.
Judd,
And
yeah.
as I said, we're not really sure whether he's actually in on the whole thing, but I would like to think that he's as right now, and as you said, I can easily be wrong here, but I somehow want him to be like a good guy trying to
do good from a position of where
yeah, and it is just, of course, if your grandparents are fucking racists, it's very hard to have that skeleton in your closet, or that
you're born
like
into
that
shit. That's
and it can be very hard to break out of. But I do think his intentions were sincere. But as I said, I could easily be wrong. I just wanted, because he was such a good guy, and
that's what
the way she reacted to her noticing, or realizing that she actually
started this thing with
So, well, that's just at least my reasoning.
Yes. And yeah, it's as you said, and as we've said a couple of times now, it was just really nice to have this episode where everything kind of fell into place. And now I'm actually really excited about the finale, because how is this all gonna wrap up? And now that we pretty much have everything set and everything, like, we understand pretty much everything that has been going on up until this point now, pretty much, like, compared to how we felt like the past few weeks, how we have been feeling the past few weeks. It's just,
even though I got this episode, I still don't feel entirely sure about the portrayal of Adrian White, but it helped a little, definitely.
Yeah. He was.
I just wanted to clear the air that
it's not like, oh, now he's exactly how we imagined him. It's just his behavior, his the way he's acting, or the way he has been acting, it just makes a bit more sense now, maybe, and the fact that we got to see him. No, it doesn't make.
Not to me, but I don't want to go into this.
Okay, fair enough. But this being a very Dr. Manhattan and Angela-centric episode, we didn't get a lot from the other storylines or the other characters. Not yet. Anyway, that's what we're probably going to get in the finale, because there's not going to be any more episodes to do it. We did get a little bit of Adrian in the end, as we've already commented on, but what I'm just curious about now and looking forward to is, of course, seeing what's gonna go down with Angela and Dr. Manhattan after all of this, but also Looking Glass and Laurie and, like, the rest of the Tulsa vigilantes and the police force and Will and Lady True and everybody, all the other characters. What's gonna go down with this whole fucking thing, and how is it going to end, and how are they gonna maybe pull the rug out from under us, just like the comic book did? Or I don't know what I'm expecting. I'm just expecting it to be one hell of a finale. So yeah, is there any last thing you want to get into?
Poor Angela, like, really, it just struck me again that she lost approximately everyone in her life. And the whole thing that, I think, well, who was it? Was it Cal / Dr. Manhattan that said that all she wanted was a family all along?
Yeah.
Even though she said that she didn't want a family, all she wanted was a family. And
Of course she would say that, because whenever she was close to having a family,
She just lost them.
she lost it. So you put up barriers because you're like, no, I don't want to get hurt again. Fuck that shit.
No, she just lost Dr. Manhattan.
Yeah, even though she knew and he knew that it was going to end tragically.
But that's a risk, and I also think that the whole play on the risk thing was great as well, because with all relationships, it's a risk. And you just have to decide whether you want to take that risk or not. It's also usually referred to as like a leap of faith and whatever. So of course it's
yeah, life is a risk.
It is. It's there's at some point there will be 100% failure rate, but you know,
it's gonna end tragically at some point. So
all relationships are gonna end tragically, and whether that's, you know, broken love or broken lives, that's the thing, right?
And just to close on something with the device there, I like the thing with Adrian where he was like, oh yeah, I made that device 30 years ago, because that was actually my plan A, was to insert that fucking thing into your head, and plan B was to blow you up, which I then tried to do. So he's been hanging on to this thing for a while, and Dr. Manhattan didn't know about it because he kept it in this irradiated box. That was kind of like a small blind spot for Dr. Manhattan as well. So it was just nice to see that Ozymandias, he was still living up to the name of the cleverest, smartest person alive. So yeah, I enjoyed that scene. Anywho, it's gonna be real interesting with the finale. I think we're done with this reaction, right?
Yeah.
And review and everything. All right. Once again, I really enjoyed this episode. It did so much good for me, for my enjoyment of this series, even though I've been really enjoying this series up until this point. So yeah. But that's gonna do it. Thank you guys so much for watching. As always, please check out our Patreon. Remember to like, subscribe, comment. Look down in the description box for the link to the Patreon, and you can find all of our full-length reactions and hopefully more to come down the line. And then there's nothing else to say, but see you very, very soon, hopefully. Bye!
Bye!